Hello and welcome to Experiment Doll. Today we'll be making my custom character, a Bigfoot. We'll be using a Howleen body, Clawdeen's feet, and a Gigi head. Let's start it. You can see I've marked where I want to cut off both of their feet, and the reason that I'm using Clawdeen's feet is to make her feet bigger, make her Bigfoot, and I'm using a jeweler saw just to hack off the feet. Another reason I'm using Clawdeen's feet is so that my Bigfoot can actually share a lot of the shoes that the normal size ghouls wear. After drilling a hole in both the feet and ankles, insert a wire to connect them and hold it in place using epoxy glue. Then I fill it in using a 2-part epoxy, and now I am sanding that epoxy. I actually ended up doing the fine sanding in a shop just to make it cleaner because I had a dust collection system. Once it's all nice and sanded and looks pretty good and flush, you're going to want to color match the skin using acrylic paint. And this is going to take a few layers. Once the paint's all nice and dry, you're going to want to seal it in with a couple layers of Duraclear matte varnish. Next, I will be prepping this Gigi Grant face by removing her face with acetone. And I'm using Gigi Grant because I wanted my Bigfoot to have actual humanoid ears. I put a plastic bag over my work area and began snipping all of her hair off. With the hair cut as close to the scalp as possible, I use a flathead screwdriver and some medical clamps to pull out all the glue and hair from her head. Now I removed the pink scalp from her head just to give all of her head one color for when I paint it, but that's totally optional. After washing the whole head with warm soapy water, you can begin adding her new skin color. Now you can use the painting acrylic paint method, an airbrush, you could also use spray paint or the chalk pastel method. I also painted her scalp brown to match her hair. Now let's get started on the rework. I'm using this lovely milk chocolate color from .com, and I start by plugging the hairline. After you finish the hairline, you can finish plugging up the rest of the hair, and at this point you'll notice I have a couple chips around the hairline. That's fine, we'll fix it later. Now she has a full head of hair, and I'm going to hold it in place using tacky glue. Once the glue is dry, I like to attach back onto the body. I am going to be fixing the chipping later, so I figured I'd do this now so that if she chips at all, I can just fix it up later. And here I am fixing the chipping. Once the paint's dry, I use my black watercolor pencil to sketch in her eye shape. Then I lightly sketch where I want her eyebrows to be, and I feel like Bigfoot should have some big bushy eyebrows. I usually follow the mold when I draw on my eyes, but sometimes they still end up lopsided, and I'm not quite sure why, so this is me constantly going back and forth and fixing those. This is also the stage where I really try to perfect her eyeliner shape and add the idea of where I want her irises to be. And you're going to see my head a lot in these clips because I try to get close to see what I'm doing. Next, I go in with white acrylic paint and fill in the sclera of her eyes. I take a milk chocolate brown color and fill in her eyebrows. I add a cream color to the lips for a later coating of gold. I actually got this idea from my friend on Instagram. I will link her down below. Next, I fill in her iris color using a yellow. It was a hard time deciding what color hair and eyes to do because Bigfoot has so many variations in color. And here I am adding her eyeshadow. I went with a camouflage type look. I wanted it to be kind of avant-garde. I'm using a mixture of a dark green, a light green, and a dark chocolate brown. I'm adding the gold to her lips, and that's going to take a few coats to be opaque. A lot of this is just me color correcting and making sure all of the colors are nice and opaque. And as I've said before, it's okay to mess up. You can always fix it with more paint. And here I am adding her eyeliner. And I'm always constantly flipping my dolls throughout the process just to make sure everything is aligned from different angles, and certain angles are actually better to paint, honestly. Adding her eyelashes. And here I am going over her irises with a darker yellow. I want to go into a little bit of the concept behind this doll. There is no North American Bigfoot, so I thought that would be fun, and I wanted her background to be a sort of hidden village Bigfoot type thing, and that's why she's so heavily inspired with camouflage. And here I decided a nice gold color under her eyes would be really pretty and make her eyes pop a little bit more. I mixed a dark brown with some of the flesh tone color I used to give her some cute little freckles. I'm going back in with that lighter yellow color to highlight her eye like you see in most Monster High dolls. Sketch in her pupils. And back with watercolor pupils, and here I am with the black acrylic paint. I almost forgot her fangs. No! I lost a little footage, and that's why her freckles are darker here, and she also has her eye shines, but now I am sealing in her face with a Duraclear matte varnish. Moving on to her hair, I put it in curlers and boil set it. And after letting it dry and taking out the curlers, I gave her a cute bun, and look how fluffy her hair is! Using the Music Festival Venus McFlytrap shoes, I cut off the little studs on the heel and then paint them brown. And then I paint the heel a light and dark green for lines and seal that in with Duraclear matte varnish. Onto her clothes, I use this olive green fleece for her shirts, and then this nice fur that I got from Crowder for her skirt, vest, and leg warmers. And then for the camo, I had to improvise. I used a bandana. And here are the leg warmers. Then we have her skirt, and then her vest. To make her pants, I use this Ghoul's base pattern from Gigi Requiem on Etsy, and here are her lovely pants. And then for her shirt, I use this Ghoul's basic shirt pattern, also from Gigi Requiem on Etsy. I don't have a final clip of the shirt, so here's me showing how to sew it. For her earrings and necklace, I used leftover epoxy from sculpting her feet. I'm going to use the main epoxy piece and then 2 little earring pieces using a 2-part epoxy glue. And then we're going to put her together and be done. I'm going to name her Lacia, like Appalachia. She looks so contrasty to the other Yetis, but she's not related to them.